Tokyo, 1984. In a small studio in Shibuya, yoga classes begin. The teacher is an almost blind man in his 30s. His name is Shoko Asahara. He promises his students that he can teach them to fly. The first 6 people would have laughed if someone had told them that 11 years later, their organisation would kill people in the subway. But in 1984, they are simply searching for meaning, and Asahara knows how to sell it. Asahara knew exactly what he was doing. Every stage of spiritual liberation cost money. Level 1, $1,000. Level 2, $5,000. For $200, you could buy a cup of water he had bathed in. People paid because it gave them belonging, meaning, a feeling of being chosen. By 1987, the state had officially registered Aum as a religious organisation. Now they were protected by law, and no one looked inside. Asahara predicted the end of the world, specifically, with dates, a global war with chemical weapons, nuclear bombs, genocide. Only Aum members would survive because they were spiritually prepared. This did not frighten people, it attracted them. When the world around you feels meaningless and cruel, an apocalypse with a reserved place on the ark can sound almost comforting. By 1988, the cult has several thousand members. They give up their property, leave their families, move into communes, and stop asking questions. November 1989. Lawyer Tsutsumi Sakamoto was gathering testimony against Aum. He was preparing an exposé. He did not yet know that Aum had a doctrine called Fowa, spiritual salvation through killing. To kill a sinful person was to free their soul. November 4th. 7 cult members came to his home at night. His wife was there. His 11-month-old baby was there. Police searched for the family for 6 years. They found nothing. The bodies had been buried in 3 separate locations. The child separately. 1990. Asahara makes a decision. The world will not follow him willingly. So he will create the apocalypse himself. He hires scientists. Among Aum's members are graduates of the universities of Tokyo and Osaka, chemists, biologists, physicists. At the foot of Mount Fuji, a plant is constructed, officially a pharmaceutical facility, in reality a sarin synthesis factory, a nerve agent created by Nazi Germany in 1938. One drop on the skin, death within minutes. The tests are carried out on sheep, then on humans. Psychiatrists asked a simple question. How does an intelligent person end up producing gas meant to kill children? The answer turned out to be terrifying. Gradually, step by step. The first step is small. Just pay for a meditation course. The second is slightly bigger. Move into a commune. The third, hand over your documents. The fourth, renounce your family. The 5th step is only slightly worse than the 4th. And at some point, you're already synthesizing sarin, and it feels right to you, because the teacher said it is salvation. June 27th, 1994. Matsumoto, Nagano Prefecture, 10:40 p.m. A quiet residential street. A truck moves slowly. Sarin is being dispersed from it. Birds fall from the trees, silently. A family in house number 18 is having dinner. They hear nothing. The toxic cloud enters through a half-open window. 8 people died that night. 500 were poisoned. Police arrested a neighbour who kept pesticides in his garage. The real killers were never searched for. Aum began preparing the next attack. Police identified a suspect, a farmer whose shed contained pesticides. For 8 months, investigators pursued that theory. The press supported it. Japanese society was convinced the culprit had been found. Meanwhile, work continued at the estate near Mount Fuji. Chemists studied maps of the Tokyo subway system, calculating passenger flow, choosing the lines that intersect beneath the government district, calculating how much sarin would be needed to strike 5 stations simultaneously. March 20th, 1995. Monday, 8 a.m, the Tokyo subway. The busiest subway system in the world. 3 million passengers a day. 5 men enter train cars on 5 different lines. Each carries a newspaper. Inside the newspaper, a bag of liquid. They look like everyone else. This is the last minute of an ordinary day. At the signal, they pierce the bags with umbrella tips and leave at the next station. The sarin begins to evaporate. The first to collapse are those standing closest. Their pupils shrink to the size of a pinhead. Muscles stop obeying commands. Lungs convulse. Those who manage to reach the platform lose consciousness there. Some collapse outside after reaching street level. 13 people die. 6,000 seek medical help. Kasumigaseki, the administrative district. Ministries, parliament, government offices. This is the place Aum chose as its target. The station turned into a field hospital. Medics arrived without protective gear. They did not know it was a chemical weapon. Some of them were poisoned as well. Firefighters without masks carried bodies out. Ordinary Tokyo office workers in business suits performed CPR on strangers right there on the platform. Tokyo had never seen anything like this. On that day, a country that believed itself safe learned that safety had been an illusion. 1 week after the attack, Japanese police stormed Aum headquarters. They found laboratories, tons of chemicals, people locked in underground cells, held there by force, forged documents, an arsenal of weapons. Police searched for Asahara for several days. On May 16th, 1995, an officer shone a flashlight into a narrow gap between the building's concrete floors. In the darkness sat a man in his underwear. Beside him, stacks of cash. He said nothing. The Messiah was hiding inside the walls of his own building. The trial lasted 13 years. Asahara refused to speak. His lawyers claimed he was mentally unfit. Psychiatrists argued over whether he was pretending or not. In 2006, he was sentenced to death. Under Japanese law, a condemned prisoner is not told the date of execution. It is announced on the morning of the same day. July 6, 2018, Asahara was informed that morning. He was executed by hanging later the same day, together with 6 other senior cult leaders. According to prison guards, he had long since stopped understanding where he was. He could no longer speak coherently. He simply stared at a single point. Aum Shinrikyo renamed itself Aleph. They are registered. They are legal. In 2020, the organisation had around 1,500 active members across Japan. The state keeps them under surveillance. Police cars remain stationed outside their facilities. Neighbours know who lives nearby. Nothing can be done unless they break the law. In their prayer rooms, photographs of Asahara still stand. He is dead, but they still call him their teacher. Psychiatrists who studied Aum members asked one question: how does an intelligent, educated, rational person come to poison children in the subway? The answer turned out to be simple: gradually. Each next step is only slightly worse than the previous one, and at some point you can no longer remember where exactly you lost yourself. Voice almost inaudible. It could have happened to anyone.